awareness of our deep roots, a legacy that belongs to all of humanity. That's why in the logo or symbol of the Khafre project, we wanted to write for all humanity.
Oggi siamo qui tutti insieme con i ricercatori Armando May e Filippo Biondi, le cui competenze hanno reso possibili questi risultati straordinari.
Today, we are here together with researchers Armando May and Filippo Biondi, whose expertise has made these extraordinary results possible.
A loro si unirà in collegamento remoto il professor Corrado Malanga, che completerà il nostro dialogo con la sua visione unica e il suo contributo accademico.
They will be joined remotely by Professor Corrado Malanga, who will complete our dialogue with his unique vision and academic contribution. Thank you for being here and for being part of this extraordinary adventure.
Per essere qui, per essere parte di questa straordinaria avventura. Armando May.
Thank you. I'm very happy to stay here in Malta for this very amazing event, and thank you all for attending this conference. Today I share insight from my historical and archaeological research, and my work has consistently pursued a singular objective: to understand through rigorous scientific analytical models the pivotal events that may have shaped our remote past, and consequently the evolution of our species. And my investigation have delved into profound question of whether iconic archaeological sites such as the Giza plateau, for example, that hold the potential with them as yet undiscovered history. This endeavor necessitates a meticulous reconstruction through the interdisciplinary study of ancient myth and archaeologically significant regions. By integrating diverse methodological approaches, including historical analysis, archaeological excavations, and scientific modeling, I aim to unravel previously unrecognized narratives that could redefine our understanding of human origins and early civilization. To understand the origins of ancient myth and the evolution of human civilization, we need a robust framework. And my approach focuses on the intersection of symbolic narratives, material, culture, and historical processes, utilizing three key methods. The first, the myth, even with their symbolic layers, often retains echoes of historical memory. And by analyzing their structures and recurring themes, we can begin to reconstruct a timeline of significant events that may have shaped early human experiences. The second point are the study of the archetypes. The archetypes as universal symbols across cultures that offers deep insight into the collective human unconscious. Recognizing these patterns help us to interpret the myth, not just a cultural product, but as a reflection of shared human experiences and transformations over time. The third point is the iconic site, with its monumental architecture and astronomical alignments, likely holds crucial physical and symbolical truths. A detailed multidisciplinary examination of Giza could reveal aspects of ancient knowledge, intentions, and worldviews, potentially linking mythic tradition of observable phenomena. And these three perspectives provide a framework to explore fundamental questions. How were early myths formed? What truth might they encode? And how do they relate to our species development and understanding of the world? Let's now explore each more detail. Let's start with the first approach, tracing the chronology of events through myth. While often seen as purely allegorical, myth frequently hold encoded memories of real, transformative historical events. When analyzed rigorously, myth can serve as a vital complementary source, giving a more complete picture of humanity's deep past, especially when combined with scientific data. Chronology is crucial. Without it, we risk misinterpreting myth in isolation. When myth aligns with verifiable scientific data, a powerful narrative of survival, memory, and transformation emerges. So consider these three pivotal moments. About 75,000, 70,000 before Christ, the Toba supervolcano eruption. During the Pleistocene, the Toba eruption in Indonesia caused a global volcanic winter and a severe human population bottleneck. Though not directly recorded in early texts, this apocalyptic event likely echoes in myth of a first destruction or humanity's near obliteration, with ancestral traumas resurfacing symbolically in flood, fire, and rebirth narratives. The second data, very important, is 36,400 before Christ. It's Zeb, the first time. Egyptian mythology speaks of Zeb, a foundational epoch, traditional seen as mythological. However, it may represent a significant cultural and civilization shift, possibly the emergence of a new order following a prior collapse. Egyptian texts and king's lists suggest this period marked the dynasty of demigods, including figures like Horus, indicating an encoded recollection rather than pure legend. And the third date, very important, is 10,500 before Christ. What happened? The Great Flood. The 10,500 before Christ is connected with the Great Flood. This date resonates across many ancient traditions, marking the end of the civilization of the gods and the beginning of a new era. Described in Mesopotamian and two Mesoamerican traditions, this cataclysm saw survivors bearing knowledge that laid the groundwork for future civilizations, notably the Sumerian and the Egyptians. By viewing myth as a memory repository and aligning it with geological, anthropological, and astronomical data, we begin to see not fantasy, but a coded chronicle of real human experience and survival through catastrophes. To better understand ancient events and the myth they inspired, we turn to paleomagnetism and Pleistocene climate dynamics. First, paleomagnetism research shows Earth's geographical axis as naturally oscillating the last 100,000 years, affecting climate, ocean currents, and migration. While human era shifts are gradual, a major axial variation between 55 and 50 million years ago, during the Pleocene-Eocene thermal maximum, highlights Earth's dynamic nature. This reminds us the ancient myth speaking of worlds over or lost directions, thus direction myths subtly encode ancestral memory of such geophysical transformations, even if not immediately perceptible in short term. The symbolic language of cosmic disorder or reverse seasons in myth could reflect this shift. In Egypt, for example, the Hermitage papyrus or the Epuant papyrus are clear manifestation of this ancestral record. Second, the final phase of Pleistocene epoch, 20,000 or 10,000 before Christ, saw index glaciation and frequent adverse climatic fluctuations, especially in northern latitudes. These changes dramatically impacted sea levels, ecosystems, and early human survival. Many myths of destruction, floods, and rebirth resonate with these periods. And what seems like metaphorical tales might instead reflect collective effort to understand the rapidly changing environment shaped by glacial retreats, rising seas, and disrupted migrations. By integrating data from paleomagnetism and Pleistocene climatology, we our understanding of ancient narratives. These myths are not just poetic expression, but potentially encoded responses to real, observable phenomena that shaped both the physical world and the human thought. Now, let's expand on the role of paleomagnetism. This field doesn't just tell us about magnetic polarity reversal. It also helps us reconstruct Earth's geological history over millions of years. Paleomagnetism provides objective data on Earth's magnetic field, and by extension, the stability of its geographical axis over time. Crucially, current paleomagnetic and geological evidence shows that Earth's axis hasn't significantly deviated, even after the Toba supervolcano eruption around 75,000 years ago. It has consistently stayed within its natural oscillation range of 2.5 and 24.5 degrees of axial tilt. This is a significant point when considering hypotheses like those suggesting a dramatic shift of Earth's geographical axis in North America, for example, between 70,000 before Christ and 10,000 before Christ. While these ideas sometimes appear in fringe interpretation of ancient myth, there is no scientific or geological evidence to support such claims. The Earth's axial tilt remained stable within its known range during that period. This distinction is vital. It allows us to separate scientifically validate geophysical events from speculative reconstructions. Knowing what has and hasn't happened help us better interpret mythic content and filter out unsupported theories. Thus, paleomagnetism acts not only as a geological tool, but also as a compass for historical discernment, grounding our exploration of ancient memory in empirical evidence. When tracing ancient memory through myth, we also must address alternative, albeit speculative theories that inform discussion about lost civilizations. One such idea is Charles Hapgood's Earth's crust displacement hypothesis. Hapgood proposed the Earth's outer crust could shift over its underlying mantle, drastically altering the global geography. This theory has been cited as a potential explanation for myth like Atlantis, offering a physical mechanism for sudden landmass disappearance or submergence that isn't purely symbolic. However, a critical scientific perspective reveals limitations. Current geological and geophysical data show no substantial evidence for rapid crustal displacement within the past 100,000 years. The time frame relevant to ancient civilizations. Such a massive shift would require an immense external force, like a large celestial impact, for which there's no geological trace during the epochs linked to the myth like Atlantis. Furthermore, Hapgood calculated that any displacement would take around 2,000 years, a duration generally too long to align with the sudden cataclysms described in many ancient traditions. Thus, while Hapgood's theory